DJ Forge coming at you on multitude of platforms, and we'll see who picks up. Say hi when you jump in.
Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out.
Hey, welcome back to Dice Baby. We're back in it again, playing this crazy little thing called D&D. It's a Sunday for us, probably a Monday for you. Yeah, should we just go around? Sorry, what was that?
I said back once again like a really
okay. Yeah. D4 damage and paladin people back. So should we just go around the tables real quick? Quick intro, character name, class, race, and what their favourite holiday is. Randomly.
Oh my god.
So let's start with Connor.
Hello. As you might have assumed from that, my name is Connor, and I play Kaitan, the totally normal human child warforged. And his favorite holiday or my favorite holiday?
Kaitan's favorite holiday.
Kaitan's favorite holiday.
What holiday would Kaitan enjoy the most?
I think he would like Christmas the most because there's lots of lights and candy. And obviously presents.
Obviously.
You know?
Obviously.
Yeah. So he would absolutely love that.
Cool. And we'll go to your right.
I am Quintus. I am a half-elf magey guy, magic boy. And my favorite holiday, probably kind of tragic. I gotta say, probably Mother's Day.
Just looks off
Next.
into the distance.
I'm Yin, usually half elf, warlock lady. And her favourite holiday is
Oktoberfest.
yes, any holiday where she can drink.
So every weekend.
Every holiday.
Holiday in
festival.
New Zealand. Yep.
Particularly Queen's birthday.
Yes.
Correct.
I'm Maddie. I play Lizzie.
I had to call an
She's
ambulance, I
a
think. It's
half
horrible.
Goliath. No, she is a Goliath. Oh my god,
Half
it's a
Goliath?
day. She's a Goliath druid, and her favourite holiday would be either Beltane or Samhain, depending on the season.
So what is Beltane as a man? Just for those
Oh,
who don't know what
Beltane
Beltane
and
is.
I mean, I
Samhain
know.
are pagan celebrations of the solstices.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. Very fitting.
Those are my actual favourite holidays.
No,
I go to
you
the
talk
forest.
holidays.
And
Yeah.
she hates Christmas.
I'm Mike. I'm playing Faye, the elf reborn barbarian. And Faye's favourite holiday would definitely be Halloween. Having everyone look as fucked up as her and her dog.
Excellent. And last but not least.
Yeah, so I'm Skiff. I'm resident house tech and set builder, I guess. I play, Skiffabong, who's a tiefling, arcane trickster rogue, and his favourite holiday is a festival that you've never heard of. Well, actually, I've kind of alluded it to you in game. Yeah.
It's hunting.
Yeah.
No. It's celebrated on the 20th of April.
Yeah, it's a guild clan festival.
Yep.
It's also Mother's Day.
Yeah.
It's also Mother's Day.
We're all Mother's Day.
It's basically a week of dancing on hallucinogenics and doing whatever you want.
Burning
and,
Man!
but in the bush. But in the bush. Yeah.
Kiwi bird.
Yeah, pretty much. It's Kiwi bird, yeah.
Coachella.
Fire festival. No. Maybe Outlook Croatia, but not Outlook UK.
And for a cheeky recap of our last sessions, we have Kaitan's gonna give us the skinny on what happened.
Dear Diary, today I conjured myself up the horse that I have wanted for about a couple of days. I asked Lizzie to name I wanted someone to name the horse, but then Lizzie asked the horse the name, and she told me it was Stormageddon, so Stormageddon. Then we decided to interrogate the two Neds, and we interrogated Left Ned first. And I tried to ask him all the questions about his social security number that hopefully the other Ned wouldn't know. It was a really good time. He's not really a good father because he gets drunk and kind of wanders off quite a lot. So
Then I was drunk. Right.
pretty much.
I think he has some redeeming qualities. You could say there's some left Ned redemption in there.
He woke up outside of a forest and he said his first job was being beaten by his dad.
That's about right.
He had 20 brothers and sisters as well. And the last thing he remembers was getting drunk and going off with his friends into the forest.
And he's right-handed.
And he was right-handed, exactly. Everyone was not surprised, but also disappointed to find that we could not interrogate the other Ned today, because I summoned Stormageddon. Quintus was especially unimpressed.
I was like so ready to go.
Your Michael was ready to walk out.
So while we talked to the Neds, the others looked for the other Vistana lady, Esmeralda. and we got a little bit more information than what we had, but not really very much. Because I derailed a little bit, we then had to talk to a human, dwarf, and elf, which is definitely not a reference to anything in popular culture. Their names were Vigo, Orlando, and Redbeard. But they're two missing halfling companions.
Elijah and Sam.
So we trusted these people without doing any insight checks, I think.
No, you did. Not a one. Not a one.
I thought we
guys
did,
are
but
on
we
the
rolled
level.
bad. I think Skiff rolled not well.
Probably.
No. Oh, yeah, no, you did. But it was
I trust
horrendous.
this one.
So we went and found a very big egg cocoon, which I definitely thought the Balrog was coming out of. But just kidding, they were filthy shape changers. And they jumped us, and we had a massive fight in which we were all terrified of this egg that did almost nothing except for hold person like once. Then we won that fight, and then Lethe discovered that the cradle of the egg had little tethers or tendrils that went through the ground, and that's kind of where we left off with the investigation of that, and wondering where to go next.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Connor.
Beautiful recap.
So with that, let us continue once again. Exploring the interesting and sometimes disgusting world of Barovia. So
It can be disgusting.
It can be. As you are, as mentioned, you've just finished up a fight, investigated this cradle, and you are finding that there seems to be a trail leading back from this cradle that you are able to follow. And that's where we'll pick things up. So, with that being said, what would you like to do?
Anyone got healing?
I probably can. I can do some healing if everybody
Did
needs it.
you want to take a short rest, or?
I'd be keen.
I'd like
as long
to.
as we
Yeah.
find a safe place.
Yeah. So Lethe's
So,
going to kind of follow the tendrils to the edge of the clearing and go, the tendrils are to kind of turn around and walk back. The tendrils are going that way. We should probably go that way at some stage soon, because I don't know what the fuck happened there, but that's where the source is.
In terms of direction, it's heading in a westerly / southwesterly direction. So.
I say we get out of the clearing, hide on the edge, maybe watch this area. Before, like, taking a short rest could lead us to whoever comes by this place again. There seems to be more of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we know
We
which
could-
direction to go. We can just crash through this clearing at some
Exactly.
stage.
Yeah,
Weren't we going to do an autopsy as well?
Oh, we did.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can do an autopsy during the short rest, and
some can short rest, those that need it. Others can continue to search. And
Which of your party members are your autopsy?
Pardon?
Not again.
So I'm assuming that. So what are you wanting to autopsy?
So I think we had
We
Did
had
we
two
have
of
some
two
of
of
the
the creatures. Yeah,
The
we-
creatures?
Yeah,
Okay.
we were going to autopsy one of the bodies from
Yep.
one of the
to figure
creatures.
out
I
what
think.
Yeah. So in terms of the creatures you encountered, and you remember them being kind of like bipedal frog or toad-like adjacent things. So these are bipedal with arms, kind of webbed sort of fingers, and if you imagine like a normal humanoid who has their torso, a neck, and then a head, sort of like that unnecessary neck bit has been removed, and it's like the head is set into the top of the torso. You know what I mean?
In my
It's
in my
kind of-
travels,
yes, that unnecessary neck.
Yeah. Just don't
Ripped
need
out.
that. Get rid of that. Let's be more efficient.
would I have heard of any creatures in my travels?
I'll get you to make a history check. It's going to be pretty high DC though. But yeah.
Would the crew know them?
24.
No, not your clan. Okay. Not your clan. Sorry, how much?
24.
24. You get an inkling of some amphibious-like creatures.
Yeah, I guess just to narrow it down before you go.
Yeah.
The thing I'm trying to narrow in is like, generally, what are the aims and natures of these creatures? If I have any knowledge of that.
You recall that there was an amphibious sort of like species of creature a long time ago, mind you, that for a period of time were used as a kind of like a when there's a pest and then someone brings in a predator to hunt them, sort of in that fashion, but then like what normally happens when you do that kind of thing to an ecosystem, it went horribly wrong.
Yeah.
The only thing you recall is that they have shape-shifting abilities. And you do actually recall that there was some really disturbing thing about the way that they reproduced, but you can't recall what it was.
Okay. Don't go near that egg.
Do we still want to autopsy it with this information that you have? I think we need to.
Weren't we going to autopsy them for a reason?
Yeah.
Probably.
It was for
Sure there was a reason.
information about something. I can't remember what.
Oh,
They ate?
What color blood do they have?
It's a very good question.
Very good question.
I'd say it's probably like a it's very much red.
Bugger. Any distinctive qualities with it, like extra viscous or something?
Well, it's
Do we need to meet
have
up
the
in a minute?
autopsy first.
Okay, let's
Yeah. So you definitely saw red blood. So
Lizzie's
you know
nose.
that.
As you start the autopsy, I'll cast it.
Okay, do you want me to roll?
Okay, so just real quick, you've carried a couple of these bodies. Now you recall there being 3 different colours. There was. Oh, sorry. Let me make
Didn't
sure.
we
I get-
obliterate one of them?
No, one got away.
So one got away. So there was 2 colours. There was a green, and there was a grey.
Green and grey.
The
green.
green one was the evocation kind of one, wasn't he? He was the one that kept fireballing us.
They were all casting spells.
Yeah.
From what you remember.
I thought they
Some
they
were
specifically
like-
casted different spells. Like one tended to fear us, one was casting fireball mostly, and then the one that got away was kind of like more whole person-y.
What was
stuff?
What was the colour of the one that got away?
Casting hypnotic pattern.
Was it the egg casting hypnotic pattern?
The,
Okay.
the one that got away was grey.
If you're doing the
So they're two
autopsy
grey.
Oh, no,
of,
let me just
how
double.
big-
Let me
Yeah.
just double check that. Make sure that I've got
So what
my
is it?
Casted guidance.
markers right. I'll go into my encounter, which is called COS LOTR.
Sorry, not sure. Green.
So, are we autopsying the green one?
Yes. So there was a green one, there was a grey one, and there was one that was much darker shade of grey.
Okay.
Charcoal.
Greyish, but yeah, but very charcoal, whereas the other one was a light grey. Yeah.
So we got light grey and green.
Yeah. So those are the 2 corpses that you have available to vivisect.
Okay, well, I can probably do both of them if I have enough time to.
Okay, so
So the one that
how
escaped was the
detailed are you
charcoal.
wanting to get with this? Because
The one that
the
escaped.
more detailed, the more careful you are, the more time it's going to take.
Do we want to move
We
away
have
still?
2 people who can. I could do one. She could do one.
I could kind of do
But,
them.
I
but,
make
but
up
still,
for
it's the same thing. Are you trying to do it while you're short resting? So you're trying to do an hour autopsy, or are you wanting to spend the night here and, what's the
Do we
degree of
wanna-
time spent you want to?
Do we want to do a long rest here?
No, It's not clear here.
Not
Not
really.
in this
Like, I mean,
area.
how healthy you
I
two
can
are?
look.
I'm fine. I didn't hit. I just got.
Didn't get hit.
I can
Hypnotic
look for
hypnotize.
something safe for
I've
us
got.
in the
I'm
bush.
missing a
Right.
few hit points, but not massive amount.
Right.
Also,
Okay.
what is the
So we
plan?
could
Yeah.
probably just, I
Look,
could use a
but
short
I
rest.
Could
Um,
use a long rest because I've used a couple of my
All right.
slots.
Can I say while these guys are kind of figuring out, I'll
Mhm.
go and look for a place to.
We can
Yep.
do the
So rest.
autopsies here and then find somewhere to long rest.
Yeah, yep. So let's say
Well, short
there's,
rest.
there's an hour of short rest
Mm.
while everyone's preparing. You're going to find stuff. You guys are sort of having a chat about what you want to do and preparing, and so we'll say there's at least an hour short rest, and then after that hour, so during that time, Skiff is finding a place.
Yep.
So can you roll a survival?
Can I assist him on that? 'Cause
You
I've
sure
got
can.
the exact same
You absolutely
background, I think.
can. Badass background.
14.
Badass. 14 with advantage.
Yeah, I'm assisting.
14.
14 with
Wow.
advantage.
But I've also got the gruel trait.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you spend a bit of time. You manage to find something which is kind of, so you're still within the forest.
Yeah.
You're getting kind of closer towards the edge of the forest, and you find a larger, like something that's an elevated position. Great, because you don't have to worry too much about it. If it rains, everything's going to filter off. You can get a pretty decent height, and there's enough clearing on the edge of the forest that you can see stuff coming to the forest. So you're pretty happy with your position. So, yep. So Skip and Faye come back and they report.
Yeah.
Got a
Cool.
place.
And in this hour while he's off, are we doing the autopsy thing? What am I rolling?
Nature check. So you want to do
Nature
two
check.
separate autopsies?
Wow. Don't have to, because I do.
If
Do
you
you want me
wanted,
to just help actually?
We better do it at a place.
but we've got to carry the fucking bodies.
So I'll say the hour is coming out. They've been looking for a place. You guys have been preparing, moving things, stuff like that. So the hour is actually doing the setup.
Okay.
Then once the hour's finished, you can decide whether you want to do a short rest based on what you've got, or spend the time here and do a very detailed autopsy, or somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean?
I think just a short resty sort of autopsy will be fine. Like,
Short.
I'd say maybe do one at a time, so we don't
One and done?
Yep.
have issues.
Do you like to spend, the whole hour autopsying one and see how you go, or half an hour for both?
Or do
Are
you
we
want to do
doing
one
one
and I'll
each?
do one? So we
Yeah.
have an hour each on one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like I do
We're
one for
doing
an
one
hour
each.
at the same time, and she's doing one for an
Yep.
hour.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
yes.
Yes,
And anyone else has
efficiency.
proficiency in medicine that can assist with
Am I
That's
doing
right.
the
That's
medicine
there.
checks or
That's
the
medicine.
nature?
Yeah, you're always
it's a
me.
medicine check.
It's a
Okay.
medicine check.
Definitely a medicine check.
Okay, cool.
I can,
Easy beans.
I can assist. One of you gets
She's got guidance.
Yeah, I've got guidance, so if you
So it's a
assist.
advantage.
Yay.
Cool.
Thank goodness. Oh, 2 plus 1. Don't want that one on the back. 21.
Also 21.
Nice.
And
Whoa.
we
Awesome.
got 23.
As well.
Yeah.
So add a D4.
How much am I adding?
2.
2?
So,
Oh,
23.
23.
23. This is very
23.
mash.
Did you say 23?
I don't guidance. I got
Yeah.
advantage.
You spend the time having satirical comments about war in general.
War is war and hell is hell.
yeah.
So which one is the green one? Which one is the gray one?
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Who chose
Should
what?
we?
Flip a coin. Or i.e. roll a.
Hang on,
Heads or
I'll
tails?
roll a d4. I rolled a 1, so
You can get the grey one.
I'll get the
I
grey
got
one.
a cute green.
Okay. So as you spend time performing this autopsy, it's something you probably have more experience with. It's something you have less experience with, but in theory and in practice you kind of understand it. I think it's probably something where there's been certain creatures or things that you've autopsied, but never to this level of detail. So it is a bit strange for you. But as you're going through, and this is based on the conversation you had with Quintus, I imagine, before, on what he was able to gather. So, is there anything in particular that you're trying to find out during this autopsy? Like, are you trying to find out how they
I know we were.
how
I
they
know we
eat,
were looking
sleep,
for something
reproduce, if
specific.
they do this or that, or like what is it you're trying to find
I
specifically?
can't
You
remember
know?
what it was. It's from the last session.
Um,
We were autopsying these bodies for a reason. I can't remember
Yeah.
what reason it was.
I mean, something that we might be able to use to distinguish them from other humans.
Yeah.
Would be really good.
Ideal.
Out of the change.
Yeah.
Or if there's like a difference, say, do they like smell different, or do they have like, are they arranged differently? Are they
Yeah.
missing organs?
Does their saliva corrode stuff, or I don't know.
So what you are able to gather is that there's a couple of things. You're looking for reproductive organs, or maybe organs or parts that you can see aren't specifically for the purpose of keeping them alive, and therefore, so it's not what they use to breathe or digest or anything like that. And so you're trying to narrow down. And with your role, what you're finding is you can't see any means of reproduction in these creatures,
Internally and externally?
internally and externally.
They're ken dogs.
So it's not. So they don't have any organs that seem to, be there for the process of like osmosis.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. You can also see, as you're dissecting these things, there seems to be what looks like vestigial organs that you theorize probably actually did serve a purpose at some stage, but they don't now. And you can also see what looks to be like evidence of metamorphosis. So rather than like humanoids and most creatures that start as a littler version of yourself, and then you grow up and you develop in certain ways, but you're essentially the same creature. This looks more like there was a point where they were something, and then they became something completely different.
Like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly.
Exactly.
Is there a means by which I can detect magical interference?
Nothing that you could. There's no evidence here that you could determine whether this was experimentation, whether this was a metamorphosis that was brought on unnaturally, or whether this is just a natural phenomenon for this species.
We don't have enough information.
Yeah, and in terms of telling them apart from others, once you get to sort of dissecting what would be their brain, and trying to work backwards in terms of, you can see that there's like within their musculoskeletal structure and within just the skin, you're able to pick up signs of their ability to transform on command. So they can actually change their structure to a degree, and they can also change their appearance to a degree. But the capacity at which they can do that, like, what's the limit of how often they can do that, and how do they do that? You're not
How
quite sure.
long can they hold it up?
You're
Because
not quite
this may
sure.
very well be our doppelganger issue.
That's what I was wondering.
Did they have any? Remembering back, did they have any sort of damage resistance? Because if they have like damage resistance, we could just punch the nets.
They don't have any
That's what I was
They
thinking.
don't have any grip points. Yeah.
In the kidneys.
Nothing striked you as obvious during that fight.
Okay.
While they've been working, can they have sat down and focused on any kind of signature sent across them?
You can. Yep. Roll an insight check.
Insight? Shit. I wasn't expecting insight. Fuck.
Oh, it's perception, right? Perception.
Yeah, I was going for the whole shut eyes. And
Perception check.
otherwise, just fun.
Roll a math check.
So that,
And numbers.
I'm gonna roll on these. So that's 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So these beings, you weren't able to pick up any distinct kind of scent signatures or anything from them.
Okay.
Like while they were transformed, they smelled just like any other humanoid.
Right, so nothing now matches what?
But you do recall.
I remember the egg.
You remember the egg smelling very eggy.
Sulfuric.
Sulfuric, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
So
also,
there's absolutely nothing that would identify them as being that when they were in humanoid form.
nothing that you've come across so far.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah, but that would also
Completely obliterated human.
yeah. If
You basically become the Spanish Inquisition.
yeah.
Didn't we just discuss we wanted to watch the world burn already?
I mean, that would be a little
A
bit
duck.
like the Salem witch trials, except just torture instead of death.
Yeah.
But we've solved the issue.
Yeah.
Salvation through death.
It is a
Got rid
solution.
of the doppelganger at least.
Double
Yeah.
job.
Don't worry, villagers. I can attest there are no doppelgangers.
There are also no villages.
I have the means by which to test this kind of thing, but it's extremely cruel, especially for those who aren't,
Who
Can
are
they, like,
innocent.
dip a toe in the bean?
Just a hand.
Just double check the spell.
Leave it for longer, just to be sure.
Does that conclude
down
the autopsy?
In terms of information you can glean currently, yeah, that's about all you can.
Takes 2d10 radiant damage.
Yes, that's
That's
most
enough to
people have an
kill.
average of like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the average
They're
roll
fairly
is
dead.
double. It's double.
That
Which
This
means
is a
which means they don't go
vaporise.
unconscious. They just immediately die.
What a way to go. What a way to go.
It would literally just be me being.
gonna hurt
Yeah,
an
it-
innocent
No, it's
from the
just
witch
totally
trial.
You can of course.
It's instant death. They
You
don't
won't,
even know how to get to
you won't feel a thing.
And many ways
There's a
it's
chance
humane.
they'll live though.
There is a chance. Yeah.
And then
If-
those ones are probably the shape changes.
That's not the Smiths.
You're saying there's a chance. Yeah.
Do we want to do anything else, or are we good to kind of just follow some tangents?
So, one of these things is
Are we?
back in
Are we?
the
So during
town.
this hour,
Should we be
Possible.
more
Yep.
worried?
Everyone gets a short rest during this hour. So any short rest abilities that re-enable
Yeah.
and hit die. To use.
I do want
I don't think I lost anything.
Rolled so well.
D12.
Yeah, that's right.
Exact numbers I needed to get back to full.
I didn't even need to.
Yeah.
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 Completely. I don't think
Yep.
I had to roll. I just got charmed a lot.
Yeah, the scariest part was when the casters were all hypnotic patterned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 3 of them at one point, right?
And
Was
it's, I
serious.
don't know what spell I'm going to take, but I can take another step.
Yeah. I was seriously considering getting out the hand crossbow to shoot Quintus.
I could have taken it. I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah.
good for it.
Yeah, I mean that was the point. Just like stop the hypnotic pattern. Like,
Yeah,
eee.
go for it.
For those watching, take hypnotic pattern.
Yes.
DMs hate it. Players hate it. Everyone hates it.
Players hate it.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 DMs hit this plan for this one secret that they found.
Right, well, if we finish the thing, I'm going to just like
Yeah,
wipe off
I'll
all the blood and
find
find a
Is
leaf.
there a nearby source of water?
He's got prestidigitation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Could
And we hold out.
prestidigitation us.
And then I give the rest of you a bath too.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. Does prestidigitation just remove the muck but not the bacteria? Because it desoils, right?
Well, if it
does
desoils,
desoil.
I assume a lot of the smell originates from bacteria excretion. So I assume
Not
if it's an
necessarily.
offensive bacteria,
Mm.
I think the spell distinguishes between positive and negative bacteria.
Surely.
Please comment.
Like the
Although-
bacteria that.
Yeah,
sure,
comment
right.
if you know
Yeah,
the answer to that
But,
question.
yeah, I don't know.
One of
Otherwise no one would
800,000 questions that have ever been asked about
Otherwise,
prestidigitation.
what else?
Is it antibacterial?
And
Actually,
does it have a preferential antibacterial
Bias,
effect or
yeah,
just
yeah.
stinky?
Yeah, but because the bacteria that should be on yours.
Yeah, it's like so, it's like
Prestidigitation.
so there.
Yeah.
I think if you use it for 20 seconds at least, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Just too much, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Just as you prestidigitation, sing happy birthday.
Yeah.
Can't
Good.
prestidigitize uppercuts though. That's too much.
Cool.
Such an
So yeah, so you've performed the autopsy. Everyone's cleaned up, antibacterial as we imagine, and yeah. So what would you like to do now?
Let's first have a moment of silence for Stormageddon.
I'm gonna.
Oh, the horse.
Oh,
I don't forget your dog's name.
his dog is
Fel? Oh no, Faye.
there you
Right.
go, and mortal.
Ben, that's
Finn.
Stormageddon will be back tomorrow. It's
Yeah,
alright.
exactly.
My favourite part was hearing you say something like, "This horse is shit." Oh, like 20 minutes after getting the horse.
Yeah, didn't you pretty much say, "Oh, this thing's pretty useless"?
Yeah.
Now you won't know.
It's not good.
Why would you summon a creature just to say it's horrible? Like that seems like an abuse of magic.
It seems like a very 12-year-old thing to do.
It was like summon an imp. You're a piece of shit. Like,
Well, I mean, I can. That's why I don't have to walk. I have shorter legs than all of you.
we need. To
Everyone
discuss
has shorter
the-
legs than me, you little shit.
That's why I summoned a horse.
We need to discuss the basic tenets of magic within my church in order sometime. I think it'd be good for you. No,
No. I'm okay. That's mandatory.
Compulsory education for you.
oh boy.
All right.
Are we gonna go have like a long rest at the clearing that Skiff found?
It's a short rest enough for everyone.
I was okay.
I'm fine to
Short
continue
rest.
on for a short rest for a little while.
Yeah.
See at least where this trail goes. Maybe be ready to run away from something that we can't handle. But
I could do with a long rest.
As far as the
How
trail
are
is
you
going,
looking? How are you
I'm
looking?
going.
Let's meta this out. How are you looking?
as far as the trail is going, it is currently heading in the direction of Krezk.
A little
The
bit
tendrils? Heading towards Krezk?
Back from where we came.
back in the direction we came. Okay,
Okay, that's
so
worrying.
let's
Shit.
Let's follow
yeah,
the
let's
agenda.
go back to Krezk.
Yeah. That means that we definitely have identified the problem. We know what's happening.
Yeah,
It's just how many people has this happened to?
yeah. How much of the town has been
And we,
replaced?
I don't know. Maybe leaving the whole town isn't such a bad idea.
See,
Please
it's starting
kill
to be
heads.
a better
Kill
idea.
heads.
than
We
what we
think about it.
If it comes down to it and we have no choice, like if we get into a critical situation where people will turn on us, kill us, arrest us, or worse,
Okay,
don't be afraid to just bust out the moon.
Burn everyone.
Leafy's
Until
looking okay.
until we figure out how to identify who is and who isn't actually themselves.
100%
Mm.
effective.
So
Yeah,
the
we're
blood
gonna
was
have to
still
use
just like
fucking
normal
moonbeam.
red blood as well. Okay.
Oh god, we're gonna have to use Moonbeam.
Emergency situations. What's our safe word? Like avocado.
Do you want the avocados or not?
It's a moonbeam.
Yeah.
Avocado!
Our safe word is when we kill people? Is that what we're saying?
When
When we
Avocado
have-
attack.
when we are forced to
Yes.
use lethal force.
Yes.
So if I say it, I'm allowed to.
No. not when you say.
You can't just kill people. We're
They
trying to
need-
see
No,
if
we
they're...
say
You need
avocado
to-
first and then we can kill people.
You need to have
No,
a reason.
Just Lizzie.
Why would I kill?
Because she has a moonbeam that determines
Oh.
whether they're actually...
She's allowed to kill people.
Forces shape changes to change back to the original form.
Oh, okay.
And we roll They
So
roll at
then-
disadvantage.
After that, you can probably start.
Join in.
Yeah.
If they're a shape changer.
Only if they're a shape change.
In the moon.
There's a lot of rules.
Well,
It's
I'm not
yeah.
happy with
it's
this.
likely they're going to die if they're in the moonbeam and they're human.
Which is
I would
sad.
say particularly
And
strong.
only why it becomes.
We are literally about to massacre a village.
No.
Not
You guys get
necessarily.
very caught up in
We could just check
why
everyone's-
We
Thanks.
should get going because.
Yes, let's
Deus
just get
Ex
going
moves
back to
slow but
Krezk.
steady, and we're not moving at all.
I'm willing
So-
to pant people.
Yeah.
I think that's a good start. Honestly, I think I'll let you do that, kid.
I'm also a child, so it's more acceptable if I
Exactly.
pants people.
Exactly.
We'll just be like, oh, he's just.
Oh.
Phaeton."
Kids
Just a
these
child.
days.
He's
Oh,
got
those
a
crazy
face.
kids. Moving.
Yeah,
So
that's
hold on,
actually
you're,
not a
you're
bad
gonna
idea.
you're gonna run around and hit everyone in the ghoulies, and if they fall over, they're human. If they just like take it, then no. Like
That's a good point.
I
even
can
have to
use.
pass
I
and
can
test
actually use one of my cantrips for that because I've got magic stone.
we could go hit the gonads,
Oh.
left Ned and right Ned.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, I
what-
can use one of my cantrips.
Okay, but now we're just going around molesting people.
like
Straight
the
to
face
it.
rubber.
I know it's an extreme situation.
We could ask if they consent first.
What am
I've
I
never-
saying no?
If they say no, we say avocado.
Well, you said
Yeah, that's exactly.
this
I'm sorry,
will
but
prove
lack
this
of
will
consent.
No, I'm
Being
not
broke
going to
in
let you
public
punch
is
me in the
not-
genitalia. Avocado!
This will be the most painless way for you.
I've
Oh
never
my
thought
God,
this
okay.
much about how to kill someone.
We're not
Situation,
gonna
it's
become,
just-
My
we are
head.
not going to become abusive cops.
He just stands up.
You're
and
already
starts
there.
yelling.
No. Stop making me use force! Stop resisting!
Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
I don't want to be this person. He doesn't want to be this person, but all of us. Like,
So the theme song for the campaign now is just Bad Boys.
As we walk back into Krezk, that's what's playing.
We all put on like sunglasses. All right. Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
leave these-
let's
leave
figure
these-
it out as we
let's-
go.
yeah.
Let's save / destroy Krezk.
let's talk about it on the way.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, so you continue following the trail. I mean, it kind of like diverts every now and again, but you can see that in a weird way, the closer you get to Krezk, the more, although it diverts, it kind of does so in a way that the closer you get to it, the straighter it gets in terms of pointing towards Krezk.
Right.
So when you enter Krezk, there's the main road, and so you kind of come out by the line of the forest line that sort of runs side on to the road. So you're from up here in the northeast, and there's a kind of a snaky pattern that does this, and then you find yourselves coming out of the woods and then into the main road leading to Krezk. And you're able to trace it sort of off the main road, obviously, and it kind of snakes in, and you check every now and again, and the routes seem to sort of meet up, sort of at giving the road a wide berth.
Did we come in from this road?
Yeah.
Did we not? Were these not here before?
We just weren't looking.
We weren't looking for them, so we have no idea.
So there's a combination of looking for. They're not super obvious.
Ah.
So there may be like the top of the root of a tendril that you're able to spot, but using a combination of sort of smell and direction. Essentially, that's what you're doing. It's like there's one there, and then you make an educated guess as to where it is, and then you find the next one. So it's almost like a scavenger hunt, kind of, to find one after the other. And it does take quite a while. So to get to the point from Krezk you got to, it was about 2 to 3 hours, I believe, maybe closer to 4. This takes a reasonable amount of time. This is more like 5 to 6, because of the amount of actually looking for the next spot that you're having to do. So
So we're getting on for mid-afternoon.
yeah.
So if this
It's approaching late afternoon by the time you find yourself back in Krezk.
Okay.
The outskirts of Krezk, obviously.
and do we know if the tendrils carry on into Krezk beyond where we can get to?
So as you're following it along the main entrance that leads up to where you've got the tents and the smaller sort of groups of people that have sort of settled just outside of the gates, the gatehouse for Krezk. The routes stop, and you can't see any more after that. So you're kind of going to do a bit more snooping.
We should go and talk to that guard captain.
Yeah, we have a lot to report.
Dravik.
Javik.
Captain Vic.
Yeah. I mean, there's always a chance he's a shapeshifter too, but we've got to,
Kick
if
him in
there's
the
someone that's gonna order people to get pantsed voluntarily, it's gonna be him.
If I was a shape changer, I wouldn't ask people to look for shape changes though.
Exactly.
Everyone's might sound a bit
You'd
weird,
probably
but
like-
I need everyone to line up, get pants, and then punch in the genitalia.
Look,
This little boy here's gonna do it.
This child's gonna
Carl, come here. Time for you to become a man.
look, it's a bad choice, but
It's made. Yeah.
it's a choice.
So as you approach, you make your way to. So there's the main larger tent where Dravik is, which is like the main kind of temporary office. And then not far from that, there's the two smaller tents which were housing the Neds. And as you approach, you can see that there's a lot more guards outside of the smaller tents than there were before you left. So there's about a troop of about 10 or so, fully armed, looking quite nervous. And as you approach, you can see Dravik is there, giving orders, getting soldiers into position. All right, that's fine. You man over there, hold your line, calm down, it's fine. Hey, don't panic, it's okay. And then as you sort of come into view, he turns around and he very hurriedly sort of requests you to come through.
What's going on?
Not sure what y'all did while you're away, but not long after you left, one of the Neds started acting a bit weird. It's probably a bit hard to describe. Spooked a lot of our guys up, so.
Which Ned?
Left Ned or right now?
Well, the Ned that's in the left hand.
I knew it.
That's the one you talked to, right?
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna keep my men out of here just in case something happens. But seeing that, you're a lot better equipped at this kind of thing than me and my men are. Really appreciate it if you can go in there and see what's going on.
What do you mean by acting weird?
Well, acting weird is kind of started convulsing, speaking gibberish. Made it convinced that he's haunted or possessed or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And,
It's pretty soon to be a shapeshifter.
Let's
Yeah.
Well, let's go take a look at it real quick,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll tell you everything.
I appreciate it. And whatever happens in there, I'd appreciate it if you just come to me direct first. Just want to make sure that we're still trying to avoid the whole panic with people looking like other people thing. So yeah, you just come see me and we'll figure out the next steps from there. So
Figure out the Ned steps from there.
the Ned steps from there, exactly. Yeah.
Can we just call this episode Red Ned Redemption?
Yes, we definitely should.
Nice.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm just
Lock it
gonna
in.
reach out with my tail and like tap you on the opposite shoulder for where I'm standing. And then pull my tail away.
So Dravik sort of walks you up to the first tent, and he very tentatively kind of like peeks inside, and then gives you the okay as he opens the tent opening.
Dravik, just real quick.
Yeah.
It might be key to go into town or send someone or send a message, whatever it is, to see if what happened to Ned here happened to anyone else in town.
That's a very good point, actually. None of us can get into town, but
Send a message, whatever you can.
yeah,
This is
I'm
huge.
sure we could send a carry pigeon or
This could all
something
be
in
really
there.
If anyone did do this, you gotta stay away from them.
No, bring him out here.
Look, that. Yeah, do
Get him
that.
out of the city.
Look, I'll get someone to draft up a message to send in there, and we'll see what's going on inside. So
And then we'll head to the tent.
who's going in what order?
I'll go in first.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in first. Bye.
I'm probably right behind him or next to him.
Third.
I'll go in after Faye.
Okay. Joint third.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth.
How tight is the tent looking now?
If there's everyone in there, it's going to be a bit
I'll stay
shoulder to shoulder.
outside.
It's going to be a bit shoulder to shoulder.
I'll stay outside.
Is Lethe gonna have to be hunched
Oh
over?
no! The hint's
It's
a reasonable
tall.
size. Yeah, yeah.
How high is the ceiling?
Because it's quite wide, it has to be reasonably tall. So yeah. So the ceiling's
Okay.
probably about 12 feet or something like that.
Oh,
and at its lowest point, it'll get to about 9 feet. So maybe as you're in, you kind of like as you, on the top, feel a bit of a burn on the top of your head. But
So I can crouch on top of the roof.
if you try to walk on the lines of this, it will collapse the tent. Yeah, it is still a tent. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, look
So-
from behind, see how crowded it is, and just turn around and
Okay.
wait outside.
That's good.
What with Vic outside?
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
like, guys, I'll reassure
I'll
Vic.
keep him fit company, okay? You've got this.
Do we need to roll perception?
Not really. Well,
Can I just kick him in the nuts?
So before you do that, as you all enter, a foul stench assaults your senses
Sound like a wink.
upon stepping into the tent. Standing as before, chained to a large iron peg hammered into the ground, is Ned. However, he is facing away from you. His body is shivering uncontrollably as he mumbles incoherently to himself.
Pin him down, strip him.
Hello, Ned.
Well, not Ned.
This is what you're saying from behind.
Can I divine sense, please?
Yes.
Specifically, is he like undead, like a celestial or a fiend?
Yet.
Is he mumbling an infernal?
No.
Or
Doesn't seem to be a dialect that you're familiar with.
Okay.
It seems more like
Can I kick him?
Tourette's almost,
Oh, yeah.
and that they're involuntary kind of like
It's just sounds.
sounds. Yeah. It's not a language as far as you're concerned. It seems more like shortened breaths that have different pitches that, you know.
I mean, send it, right?
Yeah.
Go for it.
And as you're so as you say, hey Ned, you're trying to get Ned's attention. Ned, sort of convulsing and shaking, stops suddenly. And his head immediately swivels 180 degrees. And you are met with the sight of what once was Ned Hammer's face, but dripping to the floor in a congealed, like elongated mass, in various parts of sort of dripping and decomposition almost like an extended loogie in certain parts that are making their way to the floor. With two jet black eyes that constantly shift and float around in this area as they're sort of going in all kinds of different directions.
Do we kill it now? Or can anyone talk to this thing?
I would like to stab Ned.
As you go to move forward, its arms fall back unnaturally. Series of snaps and clicks as Ned begins slowly lumbering towards you as you approach.
Is he still chained down?
So you're watching this as it starts to lumber and the chain goes taut, and then the area of the wrists where Ned was handcuffed essentially, this ooze of where the hands were just plops down onto the ground, and as that's happening, this from these stumps, this like just continuous dripping of it's like viscera and a mix of flesh. It's like someone's oil paints have been mixed a bit too much. It's constantly dripping as it's got its torso facing one way, and these broken arms sort of lean out and start lunging towards you.
I'll stab.
As that happens, I'm like stepping through or around your leg and pulling my silvered short sword and just going straight for the neck.
Can I step back, stick my head out the tent, and tell her and whoever guards are out there, make sure nobody enters this tent. Regardless of what you hear, nobody enters this tent. Keep the people away.
Yep. And so Dravik says, he just gives you a nod. Right, you heard the lady. Stay ready. Don't go in near the tent unless anyone says otherwise. Okay. So between the two of you, going to get you both to roll initiative to see if you're attacking. See who attacks first.
22.
22. Okay. So you get to attack first. Going to get to make an attack roll, please.
I totally can. 21.
21. That hits. Yeah, that hits.
Oh yeah, that would be 10. 10 points of silver damage.
Okay, 10 points of silver damage. As it lunges towards Kaitan, you kind of on the side and cleave through it with a short sword, which puts a massive, like, huge chip through around its neck and shoulder, just gets carved out, and this chunk of viscera just goes behind it. And as its head and neck is sort of moving towards that direction, it's still continuing its motion towards you, and the neck kind of just and plumps back into it, not connecting or reforming, but just with a sickening kind of like squish as it continues to move towards you. Would you like to make an attack?
15.
15
hits. Okay, lovely. Crap. That's 9 damage.
9 damage, yeah. How would you like to do this?
I'll probably just go and like stab him straight through, and then
Center mass?
Yeah, center mass, and then probably kind of like bash him with the shield to get him off the sword.
So yeah, as you lunge forward, like right through the center mass, you can feel it hit, and it's just, and more blood starts to pour out of what was its mouth. And you can feel it sort of looming over you, and it's almost like it tries to smother you, and you can feel whatever its flesh once was dripping against you, and the smell is just horrendous. It is awful. And then as this happened, you quickly bring your sword back, and you manage to knock it enough to fall back, and it just... Thank you, Siri. And then no more movement.
Ned's dead.
How about we set this on fire?
Let's
Oh,
try and observe it first. Like, let's find out. Again, like,
Yeah,
we need
what's
to-
what's
we need to
happening with this
discover-
transformation?
Yeah, like this seems like no transformation, or
He
for
just
some reason
pulls
rotting.
a cloth out of her bag and ties it across her face.
is
So
the
much. I'll break through or touch guidance.
is the scent like what we smelled in the forest? Is it the same scent?
It is.
Okay.
Okay. Am I rolling a medicine check?
As you approach the body, you hear an unfamiliar voice, for most of you at least, call out, "What clever little mice!" And as you look around to see where the voice is, the form of Ned starts to levitate off of the ground and come back up. And even though the form is struggling to hold together, its sort of neck kind of clicks into place, and it looks up at you. It looks at you all. Its form kind of temporarily forms back together, but it's like it's struggling to stay in place. Everything is struggling to stay cohesive. And as this form of Ned is just sort of like levitating and bobbing in the air above you, you hear it once again say, "Cat's out of the bag, it seems. Shame. No matter. Show's just getting started. And I got the perfect parts for each and every one of you." And it gives this what's probably an approximation of a wink. But as it does, more of its eyes starts to close over.
Lovely.
Do
Who are you?
Who am I? What a deep question from our local scholar and philosopher. Oh, so hungry for knowledge. I'm hungry for so much more.
who are you?
Do we know you?
Go by a few names, but Google Khan is the latest one that my devotees have bestowed upon me.
Sorry, could you repeat the name?
Could you spell that?
Cool.
Do I recognize that name?
Make a religion check.
How do you spell
I
that?
did it phonetically.
K-U,
Oh.
K-U-L, K-A-N.
Like the
It's-
god?
Like a DLC Mortal Kombat character. Like the god. Yep. Aztec Mayan. The god,
Right.
yeah.
Lovely.
The serpent god of the wind.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Fucking nerd. Yeah.
Can I guidance myself?
You can. Yep.
Do you need aid with anything?
So
Is he rolling?
that is
This is very much a him thing. Yeah.
Cool.
16.
16. Not a lot springs to mind. God, serpent. That's about it.
Did you say the voice was familiar to some of us? Do I recognize the voice?
You do.
I do.
Who else
You do.
recognizes the voice?
Pretty much just Faye.
Just Faye. Okay.
Mm.
You,
Whiff on
What's your reaction upon recognizing the voice?
If it is who I think it is. Ever go by Dust?
Terrible choice of name, if you ask me. Some things are better left in the past, wouldn't you say?
which one were you?
It's Elizabeth.
Oh.
And as soon as you hear, she hears you say that. You're saying that out loud, I imagine?
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say? Who did you say?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Dentist.
As soon as you say that, yeah, the form sort of looks at you and never say that name in my presence again.
Should we call you Lizzie instead?
Okay, that's the most K-Don. So K-Don.
That's so good.
Well, you will call me whatever I deign you to call me eventually.
Okay, Lizzie.
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun together.
Yeah,
can't wait.
I don't think you should call us. I'm not really answering that call.
How about no?
But I'm getting ahead of myself. You're gonna have to find me first. Don't keep me waiting too long.
You want to give us a...
I'm
general
gonna say, well, you've already lost this head, and hack it. Try and take it off.
And you go to hack. The head comes off clean. And you turn around everyone, and as you turn around, you can see this form start to like bulge and inflate in different sides, but it happens in an instant. Could I get everyone in the tent currently to make a dexterity saving?
Oh, thank God.
Sorry.
This would be with advantage, right? Danger sense.
Yes, you could definitely see this coming.
Oh god.
Oh fuck, nice 20 anyway.
Oh god.
22.
Oh.
For purposes of this, I left Fen outside, by the way. I assumed Fen was outside with you.
Oh, of course.
It would be fine.
Oh dear. I believe he's gonna take some significant damage. I rolled
Take away,
3.
champ.
Damn, I rolled bad, but mine's better than that. 11.
would you say this is against being poisoned?
I would not say that.
The most rapid poison.
Not
Would you say it would be good that I have fire resistance?
Yeah.
10? Okay, so 10, 11, 11,
22.
22,
4.
4. And you don't have to roll.
And that's good.
3?
So Faye, seeing this, no, you sort of like duck out of the way, and you manage to take cover behind Lizzie. And everyone else as this thinks it's a bomb, and then almost in an instant, this thing bursts, and you brace yourself for pain of some form, but instead you were everyone who failed is smattered with this ooze, this thick, viscous, disgusting smell, and you can immediately smell it. If the outside of this thing smelt like eggs gone bad, the inside was far worse.
Prestidigitation.
Luckily you put a mouthpiece on. So you didn't get any in your mouth or up your nose.
Yep.
You also didn't, because you happened to be turned around and your back is just covered with this stuff. The two of you, unfortunately, have got half a mouthful of this stuff. And like
Mouthful of
eels,
That's
eels'
the first
defense
thing I make
mechanism,
The
how they have
slime.
the slime
Oh,
that
sick.
tastes gross. That is currently what's in your mouth.
I use
at the moment.
prestidigitation to clean out the goop in my mouth and then immediately make it taste like fresh mint.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got enough time to do that, but cleaning the rest of yourself is going to take a while because it's literally all over your front.
Priorities.
Oh,
Do we
Leafy is just
see anything
standing there
from the
like.
outside?
From the outside of the tent, you hear a whole lot of conversation, and then just a.
Holy fuck! What was
and
that?
then it's these like wet thuds against the tent.
Has that ever happened before?
And then it smells really bad after that.
Okay, yeah. Is there a river nearby?
There's a bridge, and the bridge is over a
How far
stream
down
or a
is
river.
it? How
It's
far
like
down
5
is the
minute
stream?
walk.
No. How far down is the stream from the bridge?
Oh,
How much
sorry, how far down?
How far down is the stream from the bridge?
What's the jump?
the bridge?
What's the
Oh,
jump?
right. It wouldn't be a huge amount, probably 12 feet. Or something
You
like
see Lethe sprinting past,
that.
and she's making a beeline for the fridge, and Viscera is falling off her, and she just swan dives off the bridge into the water.
Wasn't
Is it
that
a stream or a river?
It's not quite a river. Like, it's more like a healthy flowing stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll probably just do the same.
Just
Maybe not jump off, but I'll just
It's just
run
watching it
straight into
sprint.
the
no,
side.
Like
she's
slide.
kind
Yeah.
of launches herself over
Yeah.
the bridge. She does not care. She just wants this stuff off. Like
Yeah.
at the same time, she's going.
Yeah, so I actually going to get you to make a. I'll get you and Quinn to make a Constitution saving throw.
Do you think Catan can actually throw up?
Let's find out.
Let's find
Let's
out.
find
yeah.
out. Let's find out. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Didn't you throw up before?
You
Like
have.
when I was eating blood or something?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, okay, I can throw up. I do throw up.
Yeah. So Yen, you hear this up. What the hell was that? And then you just see Lethe bolt it out of the tent, and then followed by Catan, who tries to bolt out, hurls, stops to hurl a bit, and then chases after Lethe
Oh my
pretty
God.
quickly. Skiff, what are you doing?
I'm gonna follow them. But when we
I'm
get,
running the opposite direction, going backwards.
but when I get to the bridge, I'm going to. Basically, is there a rail on the bridge or just flat bridge?
Oh, just flat bridge, yeah.
Just flat bridge.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna run up the edge and kind of jump and try and do a twist pirouette in the air and come down and do like a back bomb into the water because it's all over my back. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna like kind of backflip twist.
Okay, we'll get to that. Faye, what's Faye doing?
Faye's probably hung around actually. It's not that bad. It's a pretty good interrogation.
Are you still in the tent or are you
Still
outside
in the
the
tent.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
Okay, so Gwen, so everyone basically run out of the tent to try and clean themselves. Catan came out and threw up. Can I get you to make a con save, Constitution saving throw to see if you throw up or not?
Ruin that fresh mint.
So,
I'm putting the tent in my
Exorcist. Yeah, so it's full on Exorcist. You see Quinn come out. Catan comes out, throws up for a bit, and then runs on. Quinn is just like, it's Team American. He gets airtime with the amount that he's vomiting. And then all this is happening, and you don't see Faye come out yet. So acrobatics. So how are people going in? You're just jumping in.
Oh, she's just gonna jump straight in like.
Okay, can you make an acrobatics check for this? Just
Acrobatics.
see if you like staple it.
I've got like
Also-
I'm sliding down
Oh, you're not even jumping. You're sliding down the bank.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've got like ultra proficiency in acrobatics, so that is definitely
No, piss off, Google. Hang on. Sorry, give me minutes. Oh, God.
22.
Oh, Jesus Christ. 17, 18.
18.
17. It's 17.
17. Okay. So Lethe jumps in, and with unnatural grace, like hits the water, and you realise halfway through that it's not a very deep body of water, but you manage to correct enough to get just the right entry and then pull up essentially to not take damage.
She just finds a rock
Yep.
and kind of submerges herself for as long as she can.
Yep. Now it is a stream, so it's not running rapidly fast, but it is running water, so you are getting a bit running over you. And as you hit, there's a little bit of a splash, but there's not a lot, which is insane considering your
Size.
size. Yeah. And immediately after this, Catan just like you see, and you're like, oh, that's actually really in. As Skiff mid-air is going to dive, also sees the issue with it not being terribly deep, goes for what would be a natural form, and then continues to pivot a little bit, and does the opposite of what you normally want to do, and hits every single inch of his back with the surface of the water deliberately. Can you roll a d4?
Sure. 2.
You take 2 bludgeoning damage.
Oh,
Yeah.
but there goes those 10 points.
Yeah.
Lizzie just kind of sits in the shallows, sits up in the water and goes, "That was graceful."
I'll splash Lethe.
That was great. Cool. Yeah. So while everyone is taking various alternative forms of diving technique, Faye and Yen, what is it you were doing?
So everyone's trying to pass me to Faye. So I'm just gonna.
Actually, no, I'm still standing there
Oh,
recovering
you're.
from.
I can
You're
see
still
you,
sitting.
yeah.
I'm just like dry heaving at this point. Nothing left on the body.
You're wide.
Like help me.
Because you need to see, and you can't see. Your eyes are
All
glazed
those
over.
verbal components, like even somatics are good, like initiative now. Yeah,
Fumbling with your arcane crosses.
I'm still like dry heaving, and I can't grasp.
There's literally nothing I can do. I'm gonna excuse myself from
Yeah, no, I'll get there. Don't worry.
the Faye. I'm gonna check something. I'm just gonna go check if Faye is alive. She hasn't come out of the tent. Just Faye.
Hi.
I'm not gonna come in because it reeks.
Yeah.
Are you alive?
Yes. The interrogation went very well.
I just poke my head. Like, I can see that.
It's my
Very
favorite.
successful.
I might do this more. now.
And yeah, as you poke your head in, there's just like a grey, almost translucent ooze that's like stuck to like all of the sides of the tent, and there's parts of on the roof that are kind of like dripping down. But like a loogie, it's like a very long drip, and it smells awful.
I feel like you could definitely feel it because the tent flap would be heavy.
Yeah, you're going to move the
Like,
tent
so
flap, and you're
brutal.
actually having the two
The second you
hands.
touch it, you're contaminated. Like, oh god, I can you can smell it on your finger.
My hands are this far. I can smell it. I start drying.
Yeah, that's about right.
Faye, what happened?
Well, Left Ned's dead. Just in case you need to let anyone know.
Okay.
He exploded in our face.
Really? Okay. I got that.
Oh, okay. That's well, you're pretty much up to date, to be honest. I was just gonna look for anything that was.
Alright, I'm gonna go away from this tent now.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk as far away from it as possible.
Bye.
Bye. Continue to dry.
Yeah, so Vic finishes so what's going on?
Don't go in there.
Okay.
It's disgusting.
It smells awful from
Yeah.
here. I'm actually trying my best not to
I've
throw
got the
up
smell
because I'm
on
in the
my
presence
hands.
of a lady, you know what I mean? But it's pretty bad.
Nice of you to think of me like that.
Please tell me the other guards are doing the thing.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple of them who have started throwing up, and the rest of them immediately gave the tent a wide berth, and they're kind of laughing at the others while like everyone's looking a bit pale in the face, and some people are trying to play it off as better. There's a couple that are actually totally fine and just laughing at everyone, which is a bit suspicious as to like, I mean, you know, obviously being away from home, you stay around the men a lot. It's a pretty funky smell as you come across, but that's a new one. That's a new record.
It's really bad.
The rest of your team okay? They kind of ran past, and
I think they're washing themselves.
that's a very good idea. Very good idea.
Ned, the Ned that was in that tent,
Yeah.
exploded. That's what all that is.
Well,
That's all the information I have for you.
without being terribly practical about the situation, we had two Neds. We weren't sure which one was real. Did the real Ned just explode, or was that a...
Well, from the
Not the
smell of
real
it,
Ned.
I would say that was not the real Ned. I've not
fucking
smelled a
hope
human body like that before. I've done it. I'm a doctor. I've not smelled a lot of bodies like that before.
Alright. So then, by process of elimination, we're saying the one on the right is, that's a genuine article.
I can't say for sure because I've not seen him, but I assume he's not going to explode into goo.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Well, y'all done some really good service, but it'd be really good if someone could check on the internet just in case.
I'm gonna step out with it all covered on my hands. Just be like, might want to burn the tent. And yes,
Should we
I
go
think we
check on?
found but we might want to try and make the other one explode. Just
Job done.
Imagine you trying to, like,
It's
pick off the
basically
jet
just
and just
going
throw it
down.
and it stays.
We found
You
it.
know,
We
put
found
back on the other one and you throw it. It stays. Oh, well, this is just,
Like, drop it.
fuck.
just find a garden.
We got it.
Yeah. And
We're bad cops. That's totally what we are. We're totally just bad cops.
We'll all back up.
Solve the case.
Can I make an inside check?
Me.
Yeah.
Bad cop, not a good cop.
That's cocked. It's cocked if I've ever seen a cocked.
Just dirty cops.
Let's say 16.
16. As you're having this conversation with Vic, you catch him lingering, making eye contact for slightly longer than's necessary.
With me?
With you, yeah. As you're having this conversation,
Okay.
and you start to feel it, like, go and get ready to sort of like put out the feelers and stuff like that. And then Faye walks up and immediately rubs her hands on Vic's.
Oh, that must be even for me.
Wow.
Sorry, yeah, it got everywhere. Ned got everywhere.
Yeah, I've got a bit of Ned on me now.
That'll clean maybe? I don't know.
I was just saying before, we should probably
Kill
look,
one.
well, what? No, well,
Oh.
it's kind of the opposite. Well, so we're saying that was not the real Ned that just exploded. Is that what we're saying?
That would make sense, I guess, unless Ned has he exploded in the past.
He doesn't have a habit of exploding, as far as I'm aware.
Then probably not.
So, look, I know y'all have already put yourself into harm's way. It tries to like wipe the smear off him.
You're gonna have to burn that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm thinking about what life would be like without a right hand. But yeah, if like, I don't mean to trouble y'all, but if someone could check on the second Ned, maybe it's when the rest of your team gets back, or what, but
maybe a while.
if you could do that, really would like some answers to what's going on.
Okay. Do you think he knows anything about this?
I don't know, but it's a good place to start.
I guess. I'd let the others do it because that's what made this one blow up.
And Vic turns to Ned and says, I'm gonna go find some way to sanitize myself.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully it doesn't involve me losing appendages.
Hopefully.
I'll just go take care of
Such a
that.
huge waste.
And I'll get a report from y'all later in
Alright,
the day, if that's
yeah.
okay.
Totally.
Alright.
Sounds
Okay.
great. Sounds great.
And very slowly, like, making his way down to the river, or the stream,
I'm just
sorry,
gonna
the stream.
Look at
Following
Faye
the
and be like,
trails.
hey, what the fuck was that?
That was Ned.
Why did you wipe your hands on him?
Oh, because it was on mine, it wouldn't come
I was
off.
getting a vibe. I was getting a vibe.
Okay.
You've
There's more Ned in there.
we don't need any more Ned. We've got enough Ned to go around right now.
Alright.
You can feel it. Yes, noticeably annoyed.
I didn't notice, be happy.
Yeah.
Enough need to go around as in a terrible like, title
Ned for everybody.
Just a thought, yeah.
Where did everyone else go?
I think they ran down to the river.
He'll probably be done.
So how long are you all respectively spending cleaning yourselves?
I think I can finally cast prestidigitation.
Basically, we're working on it.
Yeah. We'll say a few more minutes pass, and you're able to.
I get my shit together.
So it takes 6 seconds to cast, and how much? It covers a foot, right? A cubic foot. Yeah. So it's probably going to take about
5 minutes.
Yeah, like 5 minutes to do a thorough clean. As long as you get like blah 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 blah, that should be alright. You know,
I'm getting
like redo every
I'm
spot
taking,
possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah, I think the rest of us kind of like do as best we can until Quintus can press the
Next 2 hours, just prestidigitation.
So as you're like about halfway through prestidigitating yourself, you see Levy's skiff and Katan like walk up dripping wet, looking at you expectantly.
Lethe, would I need to do a nature check to see if there are any like plants or herbs I can use to wash myself nearby the stream?
Yep.
It's not
Is
that
it
bad.
nature check?
It's gonna be nature
like
check.
a leaf.
Well, there are like soap leaves and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking as well. Give me a
You
moment.
just sit with it for a while. It's fine. Just get used to the smell. Yeah.
No, Lethe likes being clean.
Sounds horrible.
As much as she doesn't mind being a bit dirty, this is a whole nother level of disgusting. Oh god, that was terrible. 10.
10. You know of herbs that would help. You don't have the ability to actually think at the moment.
Forgotten what plants are.
Because your internal monologue currently is gross, like, over and over for 5 minutes.
I feel
Okay,
like
in that case, she's just going to use dirt.
Mhm.
She knows dirt is a
Yep.
powerful cleaning agent,
Yep.
so she's just on the banks of the river, like,
Yep.
get it off me!
So you-
Untangling
so-
her hair.
Actually,
so,
can I
so there's 2
retroactively-
dripping wet party members, and then Lethe that comes in
Covered in mud.
covered in mud.
She's rinsed off in the river.
Alright, yeah.
Retroactively,
Just-
I would have said like Quintus probably would have panic subtle spelled, just so that I didn't have to say all the casting at least one prestidigitation.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna take that off my points. Just
Spend all your points. Just panic cast.
prestidigitation.
Yeah. You'd spend half your life points if you could.
Sacrifice.
Clean.
Blood magic.
So we'll say about 10 minutes has elapsed, and everyone is now coming back clean. And there are no more guards around the tents. They've all sort of gone. They've got as far away from the tents as possible. There's a few of them down the stream.
Can I?
Lethe
You
has-
saw them on the way. You saw Vic on the way up, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can I grab like a lit torch from someone, please? And I will go and set the tent on fire.
Yes, you can. There'll be more than enough lit torches
Yeah, I'm
nearby.
gonna set that tent on fire.
Yeah.
That's probably
How close is it to another tent though?
Yeah, and are we gonna
do
do
not
this?
care.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
going
just
to
in
case.
Could I get? Are you gonna tell everyone you're gonna do this first, or are you just
No.
gonna do it?
No, I'm
Okay.
gonna
Can I
do
get
it.
you to make an intelligence check?
Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Never mind. As everyone's discussing the next steps, you, without anyone seeing you, grab. a
Hold on,
torch
hold
and
on, hold on,
start
hold on, hold
torching.
So we
on.
say, hey guys, we need to go check on the other Ned just
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that he's the real Ned. That's what we need to do. And you're like running off.
Lit torch, intelligence check of 4.
Chasing.
Um,
I'm
I
chasing
will-
to try and take
I'm
it.
gonna do my best to set this tent on fire.
Okay. So, what would you guys
I don't
like to
know, we-
discuss? Sans Katan, no one's noticed he's not there at the moment.
Can I just ask though, how close was that tent to other tents?
It wasn't very close.
Oh,
I'll say it wasn't close enough to be a fire hazard.
Okay.
Is what I will say.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we need to go and see the other Ned anyway. To make sure
Vic
other
asked
Ned is also
you guys to-
not an ooze.
Monster.
Monster.
I need to do that spell combo to interrogate, and I'll look over. Keitan! And woof.
So as you see Keitan, you see him
I look where
approaching.
I look where I expect him to be.
Yeah. and then you look around and you see him approaching the tent with a torch. You have about 6 seconds to react before the torch is
I
actually
don't even
out.
have the energy. I'm just like, oh.
How far away is Keitan from me?
Probably 30 feet.
Can I Eldritch Blast it?
Mage hand.
The Eldritch blasting what?
Keitan.
Keitan.
Can
You're gonna
you
push me
just
into the
spear
tent?
him away?
I don't know, can you?
Can
It's
I?
a bit hard to hit. Like, yeah.
Lazily mage
I
hand.
won't.
That's the only
So,
reaction I can
okay, so
That
I'm not.
feels
I won't. I won't.
So-
I won't.
So you are currently putting torch to canvas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see this. Everyone's deciding torch to canvas. Continue.
I've seen it and have said nothing. I'm
So
fine
anyway,
with
guys,
it.
we need to go just check the other Ned and the other team. So I don't know. I'm like not into cop stuff. So who wants to do it?
I'm very much into
I know
stuff now.
Stitch.
My interrogation partner is currently burning.
What?
I'm quite perceptive, but I've noticed him wandering off or definitely said it.
Oh, by this stage, when he said "Where's Catan?" everyone has seen Catan with a torch against the
Oh,
canvas.
fuck.
I'm going to sprint and try and tackle him.
Okay.
Into the tent.
No, like kind of sideways from like onto the ground.
Can I get you to make a perception check?
I'll come and do cop stuff.
I'm not doing cop stuff.
He's
It's
just
bad cop, bad cop.
So I'm sprinting and
Bad cop,
diving.
bad cop.
18. Okay. So you see Skiff sprinting towards you. Sprinting towards you.
Okay. At the last second, I'm going to cast a spell, throw my shield on the ground, and there's going to be a big wall of shields.
So as you go to tackle Keitan, you go into the shield, and so that's there, and you're still torched to the canvas.
Can I use my
Can
I use my acrobatics to try and evade that shield?
Lethe is
And my like, I'm like fucking. I don't want to put a number
Okay,
on
so-
it, but
so-
I don't want to put a number
Can-
on it, but it's not a single figure.
Can I get the two of you to make initiative rolls at this stage?
Lethe is just pissing herself. She is
Oh, why
like,
did I not use my die?
completely helpless laughing.
6.
Yeah. You don't have the
This is
chance
gonna happen.
because you got a 9, right?
Yeah, 9 plus 1.
Yeah,
I
so you
think.
just
Why did I not roll?
you just like crumple
Definitely
crumple against the shield a bit. So
I'm too used to using.
torch is still to canvas currently.
It'll then shove him away.
With a bonus. Well, you got to do a check. So it's a strength saving throw.
No, it's actually acrobatics or athletics.
For the
Acrobatic.
shove?
I'm fucking
I'm pretty
acrobatics.
sure that the shove
Acrobatics
was
all
exactly
day,
the same.
baby.
Actually, you know what? Give me just a second, because I will.
I
I
have
would have thought shove was actually a strength check.
expertise in acrobatics.
I figured you would.
Well, we get to know.
Let's go.
Acrobatics at least.
Yeah.
Yep,
My
like
athletics is still right.
Lethe is helplessly laughing. She can't just.
This is fun.
He's trying to like nail off of the blade of the axe.
We didn't actually describe what that was. I think I just assumed it was exactly the same as my normal shield shove.
It is. It is the
Okay.
same.
Yeah, then it is athletics and acrobatics.
Oh, okay, cool. Yep. So you choose athletics or acrobatics for the shove. So
It's shove.
So you will stay in place and not
Yep.
push back.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do I get? I'll get expertise. So.
Well, yeah. Whatever your
Advantage?
bonuses to it. Yeah.
Advantage or?
Well, no.
Because
Okay,
the
17.
character involved.
17. Yeah.
24.
24. Yeah. Okay. So
I think the 12-year-old.
so you were pushed back and knocked prone.
Yeah.
And torch is still to canvas. So,
It's been wild.
Fucking children. I'm going to walk over and I'm going to get within just 10 feet. Not even have to touch a shield, prestidigitate. I'm going to snuff out his torch.
can I get you to make an intelligence check?
Okay.
Yep.
Straight intelligence?
Mhm.
That would be
No, gay intelligence. Yeah. Yeah.
19.
19. Okay,
Slightly
cool.
bent intelligence?
Slightly, yeah. Curious intelligence. 19. So the more that you think about it, flames plus horrendously terrible smelling ooze plus wind direction. Probably not a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sensation out of his little torch.
Yeah.
Take away his toy. Stop it. Think this through.
Because it's canvas, it's quite thick material. It would have taken a bit of time to
And
ignite.
it's also kind of soaked a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a bad idea. You
No.
have other stuff to do.
It would have taken
Just-
seconds.
Think about it again.
You're right. I'll go for another torch.
Every torch he grabs, I'm just going to prestidigitate out before you can even get it close.
What's the bonus to throwing a torch?
Oh my god. All the torches in camp go out.
No, I'll just try it with Zakamon and he'll do it again. And I'll just throw it on the ground and his shield comes back to me.
Meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
Lizzie is making her way over to Ted.
Ted.
Ned's.
Ted.
It's a combination of
If I'd roll
Ted
well.
and Ned. He's heading over to
TED Talk too. Yeah.
right, Ned.
Yep.
Maybe?
If it helps, I can now refer to him as a live man.
Alive Ned, yes.
Like, if I
Live
roll
Ned.
the dimes
Um,
in the
kind of
first place.
walks up to the tent flap and
That's why I always like using physical dice.
stands outside the tent but kind of opens the flaps. You alright in there, mate?
And as you poke your head in, you hear it. Hey man, what's going on out there? That's awful. Ah. Hey, ain't no one told me while I'm here. By the way, you got any water? I ain't feeling so great.
Lizzie kind of reaches down and pulls out her water skin and kind of slowly passes it, like steps into the tent and slowly, like really cautiously passes her water skin. Takes the lid off. Here you
Ned
go.
goes to reach out, grabs it. Thank you. That's what just happened there? That awful. Oh,
I'm aware of the stench.
oh.
Believe me, you don't want to know.
And as he passes it back, can he make a medicine check?
Yeah. Oh God, please don't.
Turns into an egg.
They're all double kickers.
Show them all.
Oh God, Maddie. 13.
13.
Yeah.
This Ned looks a bit sweaty. You can lean at the moment. And your hands are back.
You're looking
Thank
a
you.
bit sweaty, my dude.
Yeah, I ain't been feeling good. I think it's what y'all call being homesick, right? Yeah, it's been a day for telling the guards, but God, I just feel like shit. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I didn't get your name. I'm Ned, by the way.
It's nice to meet you, Ned. You may call me Al.
Al? It's a fine name. Very short and efficient and easy to remember. Just one letter. Hard to get that messed up, right?
Pretty difficult.
You able to tell me what's been going on? I've been here for a while. Guards ain't tell me why I've been locked up so long. I mean, I was on a bit of a bender and came back and won't get back into town, but usually don't get you locked up for a week. And I know we'll get you locked up for a week.
Mm-hmm. Where were you on your bender? Do you remember?
Man, I don't know. I went up. Some friends I ain't seen for a while came through town. Mentioned they was gonna go out drinking somewhere. I don't think it was a town over or something along that lines. No, I shouldn't have gone. Probably should have told my wife, but well, sometimes I got a bit of a drinking problem. Spent some time with them, and usually when that happens, I'm not quite sure how much time passes. Almost find my way back home eventually. Maybe it's the guilt, or I don't know. Anyway, woke up in the field. Don't know how much time would pass. Made my way back home, and all there was man, they weren't letting no one back into town. And I knew my old lady was gonna kill me, so when the guard went looking, I tried to climb the walls to get back in, but and they threw me in an ear.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't really heard much since. Guard's been acting all weird towards me, but ain't no one to tell me why.
They have their reasons for not being forthcoming with information, for not telling you anything.
All right.
There's a reason, a very good reason for nobody being allowed in and out of town. There's a reason why the gate's closed. And again, it's very good, but that is not my information to share with you at this time. That is, I'm not in the position of authority to do so.
All right. Well,
but
look, I've been out here for a while.
We'll see what we can do to get you some food and some water. But stay put, stay where you are. We'll be
It
back
looks
in a minute.
around and looks at us and says, about water, you got anything that's a bit, stronger?
Not for you.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Alright.
The damage to your memory that you've already done, we don't want to make that worse.
No, man, you sound just like my wife. I know you're right. Much as I hate to admit it. Alright, play along. But, staying these chains is a bit degrading. I mean, I know why I'm a piece of shit. I freely admit that, but even pieces of shit need a break from time to time.
Bear with me. Again, I don't have the authority to do that, but I'll go and talk to the guards. See what we can do to move you away from this very stinky place.
Yeah, man, I'm getting lightheaded. Look, you able to call someone? Actually, I ain't feeling so. He sort of collapses.
Oh, shit. Do I need to make another medicine check?
You can. Yep.
Hopefully. Oh my god, natural one. She is not in the right state of mind.
Yep.
It's the fucking stench. That
You kinda,
one. 9.
You're kind of panicking a bit, and you can, it's kind of seems to be unconscious, is what you're gathering.
Yeah, she's just gonna back out of the tent and go, guys, I need some help.
Did it explode yet? Are you covered in Ned too?
No, but he's collapsed.
Oh,
For
he's
real?
gonna be Ned.
The real one?
Yeah.
So
Just
it's
passed
you
out.
resolved the whole are we going to burn the tent or not situation. You can hear in the distance Lizzie calling out.
Guys.
Where's Dina?
I'm around. I am at the spot where everyone was before you went off and they went off. I didn't go to do cop stuff. I'm just hanging out.
Okay, by
Guys!
potential, you hear them?
I think we all hear it.
Okay.
If you backed out, we probably heard it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk past K-Town and go, nicely done, kid.
She's never
I'm
rolled.
just gonna
She's
push
never
him into the
I'll come over.
had such a bad time with medicine.
Okay.
No. I took the shield.
I'm walking over to the team. I'm gonna go into the team.
She's
What's
freaked.
going on?
Levy's
I'm going
freaked the
as
fuck
well.
out.
What's going
Absolutely.
on?
Like, and
It's another one.
it's just like Levy is like backing away, kind of
What happened? What happened?
So as you walk in, you
almost
see,
shell shocked.
yeah, Leafy's sort of seeming to like hyperventilate a bit, and just backing up, and you see on the ground there's a person.
Right.
Yeah, a man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never seen these before.
I've never seen them before. Who seems to be sort of like unconscious and like coughing, as a body reflex, like a normal person coughing.
Yeah.
They're kind of like unconscious. And
Oh, okay. Can I do medicine check?
yes.
Is he getting anything
It's
like
also
what
stuff
I'd say?
Since I walked in with you, I'll give you guidance.
Ah, sick. Up.
So who's in the tent now?
I went in.
Yep, you're in,
That's 15.
and you're just
plus
rushing in.
4.
19.
19. Okay. So just give me just a second.
And Levy's
I'm
just kind
going.
of backed up against a tree and has slumped against it, like staring at the canopy going,
So you're doing a quick assessment. You're checking things like temperature, pulse. You're opening the eyes to see how responsive they are, and from your quick assessment. Okay, so who's inside the tent right now? Sorry, just confirming.
Oh,
You.
me.
Are you both in the tent right now?
Levy's backed out of the tent.
Walking up. Levy's out of the
Levy's
tent.
backed out of the tent.
Okay, so it's just you three at the moment. You're right next to. You're doing the medicine check. You're. Where are you? Just behind
Yeah, let's say yes.
Yen? And,
I remember what happened last time.
and you have just walked into the tent. You're casting guidance on Vienna. So your medicine check, quick as it may be, is probably all within the space of 10 seconds, and this person's condition seems to be deteriorating as you're doing this check. So here's some things that you're able to put together. Their vital organs are getting destroyed. And this all seems to be happening very quickly. And their vital organs, as you're trying to piece this together, the only logical conclusion that you come up with is something is inside him destroying his organs. And the moment you piece this together, you have just enough time to step back. And as you do, you look on and horror as the shirt that Ned was wearing begins to rise a bit. And you manage to get just out of the way and prepare yourself as bursting from his chest. There's this tadpole-like creature. Because you roll so high on the medicine check, I will give you a combat action that you can perform. So essentially you take a turn.
Yeah.
Everyone else that's in here will then have to roll initiative
Okay.
to see what order that they move in. Can I borrow someone's D20? Oh, let's roll duck dice. How's that?
There you go.
How's that? The first time anyone's ever happy that duck dice has been rolled.
Watch you get a natural 20.
Yeah, this is where it comes into its own.
No, 7.
Awesome.
Yes.
Reliable duck.
Reliable duck dice.
2, 2, 4.
What can I do?
Ooh,
So
that's
do I only have
satisfying
one
sound.
action?
Did you have a full turn?
Full turn.
Just not movement. So you can do everything but move.
Yeah, go for it.
So just for context, Ned on the floor, this thing has essentially just popped up,
Yeah.
and it's mid-air.
Mhm.
Vienna, you're right there. It's like
I'm
8 inches from your face. You are maybe 10 feet behind Vienna, and you are about 15 feet behind Vienna. And you're all seeing this, but Vienna has a chance to react.
gonna
Basically, this thing is a cheese booster.
Essentially.
I'm gonna grab the dagger that's in my boot.
Mhm.
I'm gonna green flame blade it, and I'm gonna.
Nice. Roll to attack, please.
Oh.
Nice, very nice.
Dirty 20.
Nice. That hits. That definitely hits.
So that's not a lot. on
Roll
that,
some
but I
damage,
did.
please.
Green flame blade.
Nice.
So
That
that's
sneaky dagger.
hold up.
It's the one.
3
Hold
plus,
up.
so that's 9
Mhm.
of the dagger. What's that? Slicing?
Piercing damage?
Piercing, yeah.
Yep.
And then the green flame blade is 4. 5
Total?
damage. What
13?
did I say first? Yeah.
9 plus 4. 13.
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
That's it.
So yeah, as this thing bursts out, it's a you two are like shit, getting ready to grab stuff. Faye, your claws at the ready, just ready to pounce. And this thing comes, yeah, and you like, hell no, grab the bootlegger, bisect it as it's mid-air, and this thing goes, and green flame here. As it separates soon, you see the two pieces like writhing around, and then it just still. And as this is happening, Ned's still like this big gaping chest wound, blood's pouring out, and just
I just hold his head and close his eyes.
Oh Jesus, if this is happening in town.
Nothing we can do for him. What the fuck was that?
Fuck,
Is that what
fuck
happened
knows.
to other Ned?
Not that I remember. People die with it. Fuck.
That was eating him from the inside, whatever it is.
Shit. Do you know what to do? This is beyond me.
I never heard of anything like this before.
Lizzie's going to walk back to the tent and guys.
It's a different kind of weird.
We're fine.
No.
Different kind of weird.
There was a thing inside him. Try to come out.
I'm gonna try
This
and have
Ned
a-
is dead.
as well.
All the Neds are dead.
Not
Out of
Ned's
character,
dead,
I
baby.
think I've got
To Captain Ned.
figured out what's going on. But would she know in character? That's the question.
I am checking the creature thing.
Lizzie,
Have
can
a
you
look
get
at
Dravik, please?
Mm-hmm. Yes, can. Should guess. Yes, can. Turn around.
Can I have a look inside Ned to see like if there's more of that thing
mm-hmm.
inside?
Yep, medicine check. With advantage, I'll say.
Ooh,
Because-
that's exciting.
Because you got the context of what happened
Yeah.
as it happened. So,
Not great. 13. Adrenaline is pumping.
If you started to investigate, I would. Sorry, I would. I should
Oh,
have said it before.
guidance.
I was writing stuff
Oh,
down.
yeah,
I would have
add
given guidance for sure.
Yep.
Guidance to my 13.
Guinness.
Plus 3.
16.
16. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Thank you.
So on your way to examining Ned, you also give more of a like a cursory examination of the thing that just came out of Ned as well. So you're like, okay, that, and then you're putting the pieces together, and you're checking Ned, and you can see that this thing must have been inside. So this is going to take about an hour, FYI.
Yeah.
So you can see that this thing inside of Ned must have been there for an extended period of time.
Right. So longer than.
It didn't just happen immediately.
No,
It
that's
was
what
there for some period of time. How long, you're not able to determine. So there was that.
It's worth the dark.
And based on
It didn't
like
happen overnight, but it
So-
would happen.
yeah, it will happen. And you can see that based on like how, so there's a whole lot of damage done on the way out.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to focus in is the position of where his organs and things were before. And it seems like things have shifted to accommodate for this thing that was inside of Ned. So it's enough time that the body was trying to adjust for this thing that was there.
So
And also looking back at the bisected pieces of this thing that came out of Ned, it looks very much like a tadpole.
It's gonna turn into a cocoon.
No, this is how they reproduce.
This is how they reproduce them. Like, it's like
This
an
is it.
egg in him. There's an incubation period.
Mm-hmm.
And then it hatches and eats the body and leaves. Or like destroys the body as it leaves.
One possible theory.
So if this was the shape changer, the other thing was just dust? Is that what we're saying?
What?
I
This is
think-
about Durst.
Maybe there's a
Oh,
connection.
you went there.
Who's the Durst?
What Durst?
Another
This is Durst?
Elizabeth
The Durst baby.
goes by
Durst
Kukulkan.
baby.
It's a bit of an egocentric narcissist to claim the title of a god.
She's a bitch.
Apparently, bitch.
Okay. So probably
You know?
narcissist too then. So when you guys were talking to other Ned, you talked to
Other than that, really fucked.
She talked through Ned.
right.
Used him like a puppet. And
It was probably also a shapeshifter, but then was used by Lizzie.
something like that.
So I think we can assume that
And
this is
Lizzie.
all connected to Lizzie.
Lizzie Durst.
Yeah.
As she hates to be called. So just say it every time.
Sticking to that now.
So I'd say
Stick
this
that
is
knife in.
probably all connected. The shapeshifters, the eggs, the Durst.
And apparently she knows a lot about us. She knew that I studied it.
Does she know we
It's
killed
just
her
because she wants to
husband?
be in our game.
Is it her ex-husband?
I
Or
don't know.
No, we killed the
I
No, brother.
thought it was Hardman.
Brother?
It was a brother.
Brother-in-law.
in-law?
Gustav is her husband.
Yeah,
Ah.
Krezk is the husband.
Kane was his brother.
Oh. They're using him as incubators.
Coolio.
So,
Can only
Yeah, these Dursts are fucked up.
so do you think they take a host and then have someone shapeshift into them to then infiltrate more
Yeah,
people?
they're probably just
And
out
then
there
they use the
reproducing.
bodies to
They've got people
host
in here just
themselves.
holding
to
their
reproduce.
places.
Yeah. Something like that.
Can I?
That's dark.
This is metagaming.
Dark.
Oh, don't metagame out loud. Don't metagame out loud. Yeah.
I'm not going to metagame, but.
Let's go grab the guard captain.
Lethe's
Yeah.
already doing that.
Oh yeah.
She took off.
He
She
needs to
took
see
off
this.
a moment ago.
As you're power walking down to the river, like thump, 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 you're just able to catch Dravik, and he's basically down to his like in Elden Ring or like any of the Soulsborne's game when you go like a peasant and it's just like the clothing
just
wrap.
a loin.
It's him there, and
Damn.
he's like trying to scrub himself clean and stuff like that.
Lethe just kind of. He probably hears her coming.
Tiny
She
bit.
just
Emphasize it.
scrub your limbs with dirt. It's one of the best cleaning agents out there. As counterintuitive as that sounds, but
Thank you. That's good. Good advice.
we
Why haven't I
can.
the second head?
We kind of need to talk to you somewhere where there are not other people around. There's been a problem, and not an insignificant problem. So if you're able to meet us at the guards have like the captain's tent.
Yeah.
If you can,
I
if
have
you
a
can
tent,
meet us
yeah.
at your tent as quickly as possible. Feel free to finish scrubbing yourself. Dirt is going to be the best way to get that off. But this is a matter of some urgency. I would advise not delaying.
Yeah, I will.
Very long.
I'll dirt myself up and then I'll be in my tent. I'll see you there.
Okay.
Just a little bit. All right.
So,
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and as you're leaving, he's already sort of getting out and grabbing clumps of dirt and applying it on himself. So yeah, and while Lethe's away, is there anything else you guys want to do prior? Burn the tent. Oliver's distracted.
Outside, pack my pipe up a bit, smoke a nice bowl. Just like
Drop about the
Just
first
trying to enjoy
three.
the small moments where I can.
Yeah.
Just trying to
Oh
chill out.
shit.
He's gonna come out next to you and just like,
I offer a hit really just.
yo, sure. She's
You don't
also
even
shaking.
talk.
Yeah, in
It's like
silence.
immediately like,
They hand it back to you.
I'll come out with the tadpole and say, do we need this? Am I leaving it in there?
We'll show the.
Yeah.
We'll show it to him.
so we'll say about 10 minutes passes
Shove a bisected tadpole in your pocket.
Yes.
and then yeah.
I'll go walk in and be like, "Where's the other half?" Where there? Two halves here.
Tadpole's going crazy, half off. Yeah, and so we'll say 10 minutes goes past, and then you make your way to the guard captain's tent, and you can see Dravik's there, in like plain civvies. He hasn't like donned any of his armor or anything like that. He's pretty much just in like his jerkin and stuff like that he would normally wear. Except as you walk in, it's Dravik, but it's like mud faced up and stuff like that, and yeah. And as he's sitting quite stiff. And every time he moves, it's kind of like he moves very awkwardly because all the dirt that he's packed on him is kind of
He didn't wash it off.
yeah.
Lizzie kind
Settled
of
and,
side
yeah.
eyes him and go, when we're done with this conversation,
Yeah.
wash the dirt off,
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
scrub yourself with the dirt, and then rinse it off.
You
Um,
don't
You were right. There's hairs don't wonders for the smell. It's good. But yeah, I missed that step. Thank you.
That's fine, but this conversation really does take precedence.
It does anyway. And as he turns, like his whole upper half kind of turns at the same time. So you mentioned that there was, and he goes to lean forward and like some dirt and stuff shuffles out of underneath his shirt. So you mentioned there was a matter of importance we need to talk to about the second Ned. So what's
Second Ned is dead.
Ned's dead.
Oh, all right.
There was something inside him, and it exited his body, and I killed it, and it's right here.
That then.
Through his chest. Quite
Yeah.
dramatically.
Okay.
Strange alien.
Y'all just said a bunch of things really fast in a couple of sentences, and
I know it's a lot to take in.
I need a bit of time to process that.
Yeah.
Could we go step by step as to what this actually means as far as you're concerned? I mean, what are we dealing with here?
I would say this is original Ned. Something was put in him. I don't know how. It incubated and it exited the body. At the same time, Doppelganger Ned showed up. They're all connected.
And then blew up.
And blew up, obviously.
The thing inside Ned that was incubating, we assume, is a baby doppelganger.
Yeah, it's
Of
similar to
whatever
what we saw.
species
It seems
they
to,
are.
but it seems like they're snatching people, replacing them
Mhm.
with doppelgangers, and then using them to
Reproduce.
reproduce, feed their young.
Oh man, he just sort of like runs his fingers through his hair and just takes a second to. Well, I guess it's a good thing we put the quarantine in place. So
Are there enough guards in the city to deal with it?
They seem able to, like when we saw one, they were able to summon these eggs and dismiss them. So if there are any in the town, they could be setting up the same operation within the walls
We also
without the
found
guard,
tendrils coming back to Krezk.
surrounding the entire town.
So
We assume.
So, sorry. Let me see if I've got this so far. There's some things putting things inside other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shapeshifters.
Oh, there are also shapes. So the things that can pretend to be people put things inside other people so they can make more of themselves.
Yes.
Is that what we're saying?
You've got it.
Okay.
You're very clever, man. I'm surprised.
And then there's also some eggs. Like, where do these eggs factor into this?
Don't know.
I'm not
We don't
sure.
know. We just assume it's a method in which they might insert these babies into people, but we don't know how. We didn't let any of the eggs get close enough to find out.
They were horrifying.
But they're precious, and they seem to be moving, like crawling towards us. Essentially, it's
Like sentient.
ominous, but not very threatening. But also like, don't get close. You know, we didn't risk it.
They were pretty threatening.
They were
Just
so
constant.
scary.
It's so scary, actually. Like,
Probably should destroy eggs if we find
Is there
Any
any
chickens? Kill them.
Is there any way
Smash them.
y'all were able to tell
Chickens.
if somebody wasn't, the real?
that's something
Somebody.
we're still working on. Sadly, I haven't found the magics to
We have a couple of options. One,
down
pants them. If they have no genitals, they're a shape changer.
This is a theory.
Yeah.
We have, this is not.
We are
Yeah.
unsure if this is
We haven't been able to
true.
test that on a shapeshifter that's in
If,
doppelganger
if
form.
your soldiers are down for it, maybe that's something that they'd all volunteer, and we could start to weed out who's a doppelganger.
Well, I
And
suppose it depends on who's doing the pantsing, but
let's just say public pantsing.
It's gotta be a public pants.
you know what? The more I think about it, I'm gonna find it hard to believe that
They
I'm
don't
gonna have
have-
a lot of people that would prefer to be pants and exposed in front of everyone else.
They don't have genitals, and it's a matter of life or death.
Yeah, but if they do have genitals and everyone sees those genitals,
That's
Maybe
fine.
we can set up a separate tent so
All
people
we
can
could,
go
all
in
we
and
could,
show
all we could
someone
use
the
a spell.
genitals.
All we could use
Or
is
lack thereof.
Well, all we could use a spell that will like show which ones the doppelgangers are.
The only
But
risk
it'll
with
also
this is
kill
they'll
all the
likely
humans.
die if they're human.
yeah, I'm
The
gonna.
spell.
They're checking, like,
I'm just gonna have a
Worst
hard
case scenario.
pass on that one.
Thought you might.
Yeah.
Like, it's something
That's
I'd
why
like
we
to
went with the
avoid as
first
well.
option.
So pants them is it.
Well, look,
again, it's just a theory.
I mean, look, I can see that, looking at people's junk to confirm if they are or aren't something, it's probably a better option compared to, killing them.
We are saying that
You-
there are
you-
no good options here.
You
All
don't
options
need to
are
look
bad.
at them. You could just kick them.
Well, look,
Compromise.
the whole point
They
of
don't
this,
have to show their genitals. This is true. We just have
Yeah.
to prove that they're not there.
Well, no, yeah, but y'all said that you're not even sure if it's a confirmed theory. I mean, have y'all looked at the genitals of a doppelganger yet? Or,
Yep.
Yep,
They
but
do not have any. They do not reproduce that way.
Yeah.
So we are assuming,
Uh,
and this again
so-
is a
But we didn't
theory.
see them in their
So-
doppelganger
so-
form. We saw them in their true
Changed
form.
true.
So you recall that they didn't have internal reproductive organs.
You said they didn't have external either.
Yeah, but that was when they were.
Yeah,
in-
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a working theory.
Yeah, so in human
Yeah.
shapeshifter form, you're not quite sure it's not a. Yeah.
Yeah. They
So
might
We're just like,
form some
maybe
full
this
of-
is a thing. It's one of our leads. Again, we're working on it.
Yeah, I mean,
We've discovered this much. I mean, it's only been a day.
I'm really grateful. Y'all done amazing work, and this is, I couldn't ask for more. But I mean, as it stands, I can't let people go in and out yet, especially not when, when we know how hard it is to detect this kind of thing, and I'd rather not want to have it so that the city of Krezk is known for, entrances dependent on you showing us your genitals. I think that's just
You're right. It's not a good look.
it's kind of something that's a bit, and this is a very religious and conservative community. I would feel very uncomfortable about making that a condition of entry.
If we wait until tomorrow, I have a spell that might help.
The horse one?
Not the horse.
Oh.
Quintus wasn't happy with me.
Well, without telling y'all how to do your jobs, I mean, is there any other leads you might have on, where this thing might be coming from, or something along those lines?
You originally said like there was a thing from the southwest or something. That was yesterday, and technically that was like 2 weeks ago for us, so I'm going to have to look in my notes real quick.
Can we follow the vines back in the opposite direction?
I thought they
We could have everyone just run through your.
Preferably not
So
before I've had a
That's
long
what I was
rest.
And yeah, once they're in, they just have to answer truthfully. If they don't answer, we kick them in the balls.
Well, look, there's a few things I'm gonna need before I can open up the town again to people going in and out. I'm gonna need to know how to be able to identify these potential doppelgangers without a shadow of a doubt. And I need something that's proven that we can double check before we go in ahead. And look, I don't want no one getting hurt or,
Well, we do have a
socially embarrassed and compromised, if that's...
We do have a solution.
That's okay.
It involves magic. But if we get everyone together and work quickly, then we can do it without harming anybody. But it must wait until tomorrow.
Well, I think if y'all are trying to screen to see who is or isn't this thing, the other thing is that we need to know where this is coming from. I need this to stop.
No, that's definitely our plan. But in order to get the town up and running again and potentially gain access to see if the town is compromised itself, which I think is key, then we can do that.
You mentioned that Jonathan, actually the guard, went south, so we can try and follow him after we deal with everyone else that's here tomorrow morning.
Well, look, I know it's urgent, but, it's been a pretty big day, and I want to make sure if you're following up on these leads, that, you're doing it at the best of your abilities. So, if you need to do that tomorrow, that's perfectly fine. We can set you up with some temporary accommodation. That's okay.
Yeah.
Also, in regards to your keeping safety in the town, given the nature of the incursion, how long was Ned missing versus when he returned? Like today, I guess.
From memory, it was a few months or so. He was first reported missing a few months back, and then he appeared. So,
How long ago did he appear again? Was it a week?
it was about a week ago. Yeah.
Then I would say to gain entry into the town, it's safest to put people into quarantine for at least a week.
Okay.
So if they've been waiting and they are showing signs of what happened to dear old Ned here,
Yeah.
then maybe it is safe if once we've verified that they aren't doppelgangers.
Yeah.
But those that haven't been here more than a week, even though they may not be a doppelganger themselves, they may still carry one of these creatures inside them unknowingly.
Well, I think that makes sense. I think if we ask folk to stay in bounds for a time until we can monitor and give enough time, I mean, we can increase the surveillance patrolling just to make sure that we can pick up anything that's untoward during that time. I mean, is there anything obvious that, I can tell them to look out for during that time?
Eggs that crawl.
Lack of
Okay.
genitals.
A lack of genitals.
Well, they're probably not going to get that close. I'll put it on the list.
When I first saw Ned, he was looking kind of off, like
Okay, so describe
sweaty,
off. Yeah. And you usually see him stop and he kind of, for
like-
the first time, stops and grabs some.
sweating, but like he'd run a very, very long way, not
Okay.
just a bit sweaty from the heat.
Right. Yeah, like when you kind of got like a sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Sweaty.
like really, really sick. A little bit red.
Yeah.
Started convulsing.
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to hand it off to you two who will seal the rest of it.
By the time I came in, he was collapsed.
Oh, yeah, he
And
passed
then went
out.
into full system
You,
failure.
you remember also there was coughing
Oh,
during that
he was
time,
coughing
so,
and then passed out. And
And the end stages is full system failure internally. And then something will rip out of its chest.
Alright, okay.
Be ready for that.
Yeah, kill it.
Okay. That's really good information. Thank you. I'm gonna send that to the folks inside. See if when we are doing the rounds, making sure all the families are okay, that we're checking for these kinds of signs. So, thank you.
Cool.
Look, if there's anything else that I can do for y'all, if you need any supplies or anything, or
hang on.
we don't really have any secret weapons. I'm sorry. Yeah, we just go with the run-of-the-mill steel kind.
That's
Normally.
really fun.
Do you have any silver coins we can have? And some twine?
You know, it's a bit expensive to run a quarantine, especially when
I'll take gold.
That's very, very generous of you. But you know, we haven't been able to get supplies in now.
I'm just gonna grab him by the collar. Sorry, we'll be on our way. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the. Again, we would like to get everyone together. Let's say 10 a.m. Anyone that wants to have any chance of getting into the city potentially with your permission.
Well, no, I'm not gonna let anyone into the city.
Anyone that you would like to see verified as not a doppelganger and is willing to volunteer and clear their name.
Okay, well that's alright, but look, the problem is with that. So what is the method that you're going to use to check to see if people are ain't a
What's
doppelganger?
going to have to happen is you're going to give us a tent, a table and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone in town,
Okay.
we're going to have to get.
Sorry,
Sorry, not in town. Everyone out here.
Okay.
Everyone out here.
Yep,
Get them.
I'm sorry, he's a child. Please be patient.
I noticed that.
Get them to come into the tent. We're going to ask them a couple of questions.
Yeah.
If they're a doppelganger, we'll stab them. If they're not, they can go.
Okay, yeah, that's a hard no. That's a hard pass on that one.
No, again, we are just going to ask them
Yeah.
whether they are or not once they are under the thing.
Okay.
Once those results of their simple line of questioning, 1 or 2 questions max, is presented to you, you get to decide what you want to do with them based on their answers. Whether they refuse to answer or whether they...
Okay, but didn't y'all do that with Ned the first time he came in?
We didn't ask him if he was a doppelganger.
Okay.
We asked him social security number questions.
Okay.
We've gotten... now that we've practiced, we've gotten...
I mean, you look up at the distance and he's like,
at this.
okay, yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Look, it's that or punch people in the nuts.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, once again, I don't really want to tell y'all how to do your job, but, sounds like there's a lot of information pointing to activity happening in the south.
So you're just gonna hope there's no doppelgangers here that will kill you in the night.
For the I'll take my chances. Yeah, I think for now, we'll just continue to make sure that we can have people safely contained in the areas without, encroaching on their freedoms as much as possible. But if maybe y'all could check out if there's anything maybe in the south that might have some more promising leads. So I'd appreciate that.
Right.
Worst comes to worst, nothing pans out, you can come back and let's maybe modify your methods of checking for people. Okay, well, I kind of run the place here. It's sort of my decision to make. And currently, that's kind of the way I'm leaning at the moment.
Right.
So that's kind of my suggestion right now. I mean, but if y'all have any other ideas of how we might be able to settle this,
I think you're right. I think we should go check out the south.
We can go to the south, maybe tomorrow after I've had some sleep.
Absolutely. If there's anything you need in terms of supply, we don't have a lot, but we can give you some extra rations, maybe some top up your water.
Please, that would be amazing.
Very nice.
Okay.
If you have something that's a little bit stronger than water, greatly appreciate it.
Um,
I think we're all a bit shaken.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a bit of that we were purposely keeping away from, you know, the Neds. Yeah, there's a bit of stronger than water that we made sure the guards weren't drinking while they were patrolling, which I would be more than happy to send your way. So
Thank you very much.
that's
Very much appreciate it.
that's more than okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, and in the meantime, if there's anything else that comes up, this is where I'll be stationed for now. So okay,
Thank you, sir.
I'll leave y'all to it. And as you make your way out of the tent, there's a couple guards that come by, and they've been given some instruction from Vic to get you supplies and whatever form that is. So.
Beautiful.
I would like to go up to Faye, standing like a few feet away. If you do not allow Quintus to prestidigitate you, you will be sleeping not in the tent tonight.
Oh my god.
Don't normally sleep in the tent.
Don't then.
So we're agreed.
So you will not be
I didn't get it. Pretty much clean.
Not good enough.
covered it. Ooh.
No.
Actually,
Faye
oh, no,
is
she
not
didn't. Yeah,
covered in
that's right.
goo.
Just
Because
a
Faye
stick
took
of
cover
it.
by.
It's
Yeah.
covered in blood. And
Yeah.
dirt.
Yeah.
Stained with blood.
The only problem is now that everyone's prestidigitation to themselves, the general smell of Faye
yeah,
has become
probably.
a lot more noticeable because everyone's actually cleaner than they normally are. Yeah.
Fine. I guess.
And
Just-
Finn wasn't in there.
Fen. And Fen.
Faye, I have a suggestion. She Lethe kind of leans down. There's a stream down by the bridge.
Ah,
If you get a bit of dirt, rub it on your skin, then rinse it off, you'll be fine.
I'm covered in dirt.
Yeah, I know, but you still gotta actually rub it on your skin and then rinse it off. You'll be fine.
Okay, I guess. I will clean myself.
Clean.
Thank you.
And Fen, I guess.
Yena's just gonna like hang around Vic. Just like, she's like, you're like kind of covered in dirt. Did you put your hand with that? Can I get your back?
No, I'm okay
You sure?
with that. Yeah,
No,
I really am.
it's fine.
I really am.
You know where to find me. Hey, we hit a vibe.
I appreciate it. And he puts his arm on your arm and kind of like, as he takes his arm off, it kind of like fingers drag a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
And then as it's happening, you see him kind of like snap himself out of it. Really awkwardly like, look, I'm just gonna go sort this out,
Sure.
and then I'm probably gonna go to bed and just because you know I've got a big day tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
but,
so do I. I'm heading south.
Yeah, but look, thank you. Yeah, it's been great having all of y'all in town, and yeah, I'm just gonna go away now. It's okay. All right.
That's fine. She's just gonna like walk to the like tent flap. I don't know. She's just gonna like as she's leaving, she's just gonna be like, "Well, you know where to find me if you want to find me." She's just gonna walk off.
Yeah. Just make your way out. And so yeah, so you all sort of reflecting on what's happened for the day. It's been a lot. There's been
a lot.
There's been a lot in a very short amount of time. And as you all settle down for the evening, that's probably where we're going to call it for this session. Yeah, so there's a bit to think about. You theorists out there, I'm sure there's probably like a whole bunch of you being like, it's this and that. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you real soon. Cheers.
Bye.
It's a nice afternoon here in New Zealand. Aotearoa. I'm DJ Forge. Coming at you on multitude of platforms, and we'll see who picks up.